We've set out from South Africa on a 10-year overland expedition, living full-time in Betsy, our self-built home on wheels. Powered by used cooking oil, she carries us across countries as we camp, explore and share stories from our journey. But the Matches on the Map campaign is about more than just adventure. We're raising awareness for stem cell donation, working to add ethnic diversity to the registry and supporting families in Africa affected by Fanconi anemia. We document each day, capturing the highs, lows and lessons along the way. Join us as we cross borders to locate lifesavers. Welcome to the Matches on the Map. Subscribe below and let's hit the road. 3rd of January 2025. We went away for a couple of weeks to visit our family and we had to wait for some parts like the solenoids on this winch. We also decided that going to Namibia in December would be a bad call, not just because of campsite prices shooting up, but stem cell donor recruitment would have been limited, so schools are closed, universities and all that. So we opted to rather wait, catch up with some video editing. But good things happened as we went down to also visit some of our friends, Renee, Arne and Cameron. We shared our worries about this winch. One being that we replaced all of the solenoids when we installed the winch, didn't use it once on the trip for an entire year, and when we wanted to test it out, the solenoids were buggered again. So Arne actually offered to purchase a brand new £20,000 winch, which is amazing. We're actually going to go through next week to Cape Town and pick up that winch. The job for today is I'm going to be removing this winch. I've sponsored it to Yapi, the farm owner. He can definitely make use of it because it's a hectically strong winch. It just needs those solenoids. But yeah, with the peace of mind that the new one's going to add, I think it's going to be magic to go through all of the sand dunes and mud and all of the terrain that we can expect through Africa. Just about to hit the road to Cape Town to go and pick up the winch. Danny Verleen from the farm lent us the bakkie so that we can go through. We just arrived looking at the brand new winch as well as a snatch block. Today we are installing this winch on this truck. This is a £20,000 winch which converts to about 9,000 kilograms, and Betsy weighs in at 10.5 tons. To make up for that, we also added a snatch block, bringing the capacity up to 18,000 kilograms, which is more than enough to get us out of a sticky situation. It's a heavy piece of equipment, so I'm going to need Yolandi's help today to see if we can mount it on this plate here. Thank you very much to Arne and Renee Kitsia for making this possible for us. This morning we made the plan for the winch. It pretty much fits in there exactly right. It's like a tight squeeze, but it does fit. We've got the plate in position, but this plate is going to have to be strengthened up, and the plan is to weld a piece of plate in here, like a thick piece of plate, because the weight is going to be pulling on the plate, so the bolts mount through the plate. But what I've got to do first is move this into position. The old holes don't line up. I'm going to get a mag drill from the workshop, drill a new hole there, move the winch in position, mark it out, take this plate off, then go and weld the new piece of reinforcement on there. Bring the plate back, jack it into place, drop the winch onto the plate, mark it, see if I can get the holes drilled accurately. I've got a couple of other small jobs after that. We got some bucky liner for the front bumper, which is going to finish it off with the same effect as this. Very hardy because we always step on this and this when we've got mechanical maintenance or whatever. Looking forward to Namibia. We've got a couple of spots lined up. Yolandi's been emailing all of them.
University of Namibia's southern campus.
Campsites, recruitment opportunities, markets, you name it. And she's gotten a couple of positive responses of people inviting us over, either to get themselves signed up and provide us with a safe stopover, or with some cooking oil, which is fantastic. It's a priority actually, and recruitment opportunities. And we're trying to find any groups of individuals that would be willing to listen to do like a short educational. There is a guy that sent me a message a couple of days ago, Paul from Porterville. He wants to help us set up a recruitment drive, so that's possibly going to be stop number 1 on the way out the gate here. First bit of good news for the day is, if you've watched the channel a long time, you'll know that I'm a sucker for one of these, and that's going to drill our plate for us. A piece of steel like this would actually do the perfect job. So this is 300 by 300 and 12mm thick. This piece of steel lying over here I think is going to be a bit thin. I did phone Yapi about that one. He also told me about a very thick piece of steel lying at the back there. It's 16mm, so that's a bit overkill, but I'm going to get in contact with Paul, my brother-in-law, who's always got good advice, and he can do all kinds of fancy tests on his computer to see tensioning strength and torsion forces. Now that I think about it, we actually picked up some new logos that's going on the back of the truck here for keepsakes. In Nelspruit got that made for us and actually dropped it off in Witbank for us while we were visiting our family. See if we can get those on here today. It helps when we get views, likes and subscribes, so if you haven't done that yet, yeah, I think it's actually going to be this plate, so that's going to be nice and beefy. I'm going to have to cut it over there. Yeah, it's hot, but luckily Landy's got Wally inside of the truck, sponsored by GMC air conditioning. It's going to make things a lot more bearable to have Wally around, but we have to be in full sun for that to happen, because Wally pulls about, I would say, 1300 watts worth of power, so you'll quickly drain a battery. But if you have solar, yeah, you can run it all day if you're in hot sun, keep the house cool, especially when you're working on the laptop and all that. It makes things much more bearable. But yeah, if we don't have sun and we're in the shade, then we can just open up the windows, as we have the awesome Mozzie Net insect screens that work fantastic. And now, silly me, I've got some petrol on my glove, so if I go up in flame, it might bring up the YouTube views. It's going pretty well. It's basically going to be a perfect fit. I'm just going to reinforce it over here, so that'll make sure that the bolts don't shear out. Beef up the reinforcement, because this is a 5mm plate and I think this is a 6mm angle iron, so we don't want to shear the weld over there to reinforce the plate from wobbling. I'm going to put a piece of square tubing up here and then up the side here too. I think that's good for the day. The winch is dropped down onto the platform. Platform is sturdy as heck. Got the winch plate, got the rollers up here. I'm gonna put the winch in position now. Got something in my eye. Let's do it. Right, so it's the 16th of January today. It's going to be a full day for me. Now that the winch is done, I think we can move over to painting up the bracket. We had some extra aluminium extrusions lying around, and we could repurpose them to weather seal our exterior storage boxes. Also going to get going on the back rack. What I'd like to do is lower the center of gravity. So when we're going off-road, I'll drill in 2 holes here, whereas we have these pins in at the top here. We can drop the rack down and keep it down low so that when we go on angles it's not too top heavy. We try to get all of the heavy components down to the bottom of the truck, so there's about a half a ton of water underneath the floor. The floor itself is quite a hefty steel and the toolboxes are heavy too, so dropping that rack down will get most of the weight down below. Both the options of having it up there and down here have pros and cons. So down here it's better for weight distribution in throwing us around on an embankment or an unlevel road. Having it up there is better for like general purpose, so going through cities and all that. The gear is safer the higher up it is, so we'll only possibly use this when we do get to extreme off-road conditions. The downside of having it down here, it reduces the departure angle, so it'll be mainly for balance. Then we take some slack off that winch so that it's not bouncing around on that mounting. The great thing about this is it's easy to take out our gazebo and our ground cover. When we go to markets, we usually come to the back here, and instead of having to remove the whole cover, we just go to the back and take the gazebo out. I recently made this box here for the pneumatic hose with the intention of plugging the hose into the compressor there, and that'll allow me to inflate the tires when we get back on blacktop roads. But what I'm going to try and do is rather install this compressor fitting into this direct line to the tank itself, as the wheels take forever to inflate if I'm using the compressor pump, so like 45 minutes per tire, which is going to give me 6 hours of work on the 6 wheels. So Mornay, a friend of the farm, came around. He gave me the advice of actually tapping the line into the tank itself, as it's already got pressurized air, like 8 bar, so we can make use of that to make the process go a bit quicker. So, and then yesterday we got 2 blessings come in, one from Maureen, a contribution of $1,000, and then another YouTube follower, Eric James, also contacted us wanting to help out with the project, and he's also done the same. That's amazing. I know the costs are going to start picking up again as soon as we hit the asphalt, so that's definitely going to come in handy. So our YouTube followers definitely stepping up and supporting us throughout the mission. So with Eric's bucks we could invest in a new ground sheet, which is very cool because Namibia is very sandy, and if we want to be working outside or anything like that, this will definitely come in handy. With Maureen's contribution, I think we're going to put that straight into the diesel tank. Then last thing, the spare wheel sits up there. We arranged with the tyre place in Piketberg that they would show me how to take that split ring off the wheel. It's quite a dangerous process, especially if you're doing it next to the road without a cage. Heading to Piketberg tires. So the danger with the split ring is it can actually kill you if you're inflating the tire and the split ring comes off. That set of tires was sponsored by Bandag in East London, and they're still going strong. We still need the tools to actually do this. It's going to be best if we learn how to do it first, and then I know exactly which tools to pick out. Ilandi's going to come through with me in case we see that it's a 2-man job and that she needs to help me change that split ring. Toe jy nou gesê het cage, het ek gedink nee, ek gaan nou nie 'n cage saam met my kan ry nie, maar daai is heel goed. Already got good advice from Leon, and Edwin's going to show me how to do the deal today.
Nee, die kan hy oppas. Altyd reg oor op jou.
After spending some time with the tyre guys today, it's quite clear that we need to make a safe solution for the split ring not to jump off. So I'm walking around the farm looking for old pieces of chain. So I'll just make a chain that wraps around the tyre and the rim that can catch it if it does jump off. It's our second last day on the farm. We're very excited to get back on the road. But before we do, we've got one last job left for the day. I just want to show you guys some of the awesome goodies that we received from our YouTube followers and one of our official partners, Vicky. She sent us her old clothes. She could think of nothing better to do than to send this to us to use as rags. So it's already been coming in handy. And then Reno from Point Solar Solutions sent us this awesome DC-to-DC charger that means we can charge up our auxiliary batteries in the back of the garage here while we're driving using the alternator. When we switch off the ignition, it isolates the two batteries, making sure that we don't use power off the cab's battery when we're using the freshwater system and all that. He also sent me a bunch of wiring to get everything installed. He also gave me a video of how to actually install it.
Als jy Robin, môre, ek hoop dit gaan goed met jou. Ek wil gou vir jou verduidelik wat ek hier gedoen het vir jou. Die twee drade wat hier is, gaan op jou battery koppel. Nou ek het hulle vir jou lank gelos, want ek weet nie hoe ver gaan daai blou boksie wees van jou battery af nie. Hy het laat twee lugs hier aan. Jy kan hom net koppel op die battery. Dan gaan jy na die input se positief en negatief toe. Daai twee drade wat daar lê, hulle gaan na die output toe.
And then lastly, Karina and Wayne sent us a goodie. They recently started following the YouTube channel and noticed that we had some spots we struggled with brush. The chainsaw being a bit cumbersome and dangerous when you're standing on top of the front platform there. They felt we would be able to make use of one of these mini chainsaws. So it's battery powered. That's awesome. It's going to be very handy. I don't think in Namibia because there's not a lot of trees around, but definitely in Angola and Botswana and as we go along. Thank you so much to all of the support. So the best place that I could jack down is behind Yolandi's seat. I'm going to mount it there, and that's going to be close enough to this main battery in the cab. There is a spot where the cables run down underneath the cab, and I can take them straight to the garage and replace the old solenoid wires, which was slightly thinner, with these thick ones. Apparently with a long distance, with a thin wire you get a lot of voltage drop, whereas with the thick wire you don't. So got a couple of wires left to do in the back there. This connector box here just connects thicker wire so that runs to the back. It runs all along the chassis. The wires come out there and I just missed some wires in the floor there. Did you see how close that was? Finish wiring this piece up here. We just filled up with water. That's our last evening on the farm. We're really gonna miss it because it was lucky staying here. We got lots done, but we are so ready to get back on the road. So ready. First up Portable, and then we're gonna start heading up towards Namibia. It's the 20th of January today, 2025, and we're gonna get back on the road.
The Matches on the Map project is proudly supported by our loyal Patreon members and our official partners. Support our campaign by checking out our website, subscribing to our channel, or becoming one of our Patreon members.